Ever feel like you are running a race you never signed up for? Your heart is pounding, your mind is racing, and you just can't seem to catch your breath. What if I told you the secret to better health, mental clarity, and longevity has been right under your nose this whole time? Literally. Breath isn't just an automatic function, it's a hidden equation, a rhythm that quietly dictates how we feel, think, and heal. And somewhere along the way, we lost touch with this fundamental formula of life. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Breath Math, the podcast where we decode the art and science of balance through body, breath, and mindful living. I'm your host, Nisha, and I'm so thrilled to have you here in the Breath Math family today. In today's episode, we are diving deep into the lost math of life. We are going to explore how the way we breathe influences our physical and mental health on a cellular level. We will talk about why correcting our breathing geometry can solve more than half of our modern health issues. The truth is, most of us have developed bad math habits like shallow breathing, mouth breathing, or over breathing without even realizing it. But once we understand the natural rhythm of the lungs, we unlock a new level of vitality. So, before we get into the heavy numbers, let's do a quick calibration. Sit up tall, feel your spine lengthen. Now, take a deep breath with me. Inhale gently through your nose, pause, exhale slowly and fully. Perfect. Let's get started. The forgotten rhythm of life. Breathing is an act so natural and constant that we rarely stop to think about it. Every day, we take roughly 20,000 to 25,000 breaths. But how often do we pause to appreciate what's really happening? Breathing isn't merely oxygen in and carbon dioxide out. It's a delicate process that fuels life, influences our physical and mental health, and connects us with nature's rhythm. But as modern life gets busier, noisier, more sedentary, we start breathing differently. And when the rhythm of breath shifts, the rhythm of the body shifts too. You know how in math, if you change one variable in a formula, the entire result shifts? Breath works the same way. When breathing becomes shallow all through the mouth, you change the balance of oxygen and carbon dioxide your body is working with. And that balance influences the body's internal chemistry, including the signals that help regulate blood pH. So, what looks like a small change can quietly shift the whole equation. The mechanics, how the equation works. Breathing is both profoundly complex and beautifully simple. At its core, it's about oxygen and carbon dioxide. Two gases we exchange in a delicate dance to stay alive. When you inhale, oxygen travels down to the lungs into tiny air sacs called alveoli. Think of this as the currency exchange stations of your body. This is where oxygen enters the bloodstream to be carried to your cells to create ATP, the energy currency that powers everything from your heartbeat to your ability to remember where you left your keys. And on the flip side, carbon dioxide, produced as a byproduct of energy production, is released when you exhale. Most people think carbon dioxide is just a waste product. That is a bad math. Carbon dioxide is actually the key that unlocks the oxygen door. In biology, this is called Bohr Effect. If you don't have enough carbon dioxide in your blood, which happens when you overbreathe or hyperventilate, the oxygen stays stuck in your blood and can't get into your tissues. You could be inhaling all the oxygen in the world, but if your carbon dioxide levels are off, your cells are essentially starving. So, breathing isn't just air movement, it's energy management, it's chemistry, it's balance. Now, let's zoom into the mechanics. Most people think the lungs do the work, but actually, your respiratory muscles are the real stars of the show. The diaphragm plays the leading role. It's a dome shaped muscle at the base of the lungs. When you breathe in, it contracts and flattens, creating a vacuum that pulls air into the lungs. Then you have the intercostal muscles between your ribs helping expand the chest cavity. And during deep or labored breathing, even your neck, back, and abdominal muscles jump in as support. Here's something important: poor posture that's slouched over a laptop position restricts diaphragm movement and forces shallow breathing. So, yes, posture isn't just about looking confident, it's literally about breathing well. Breath and the nervous system, a two-way path. Breathing is unique because it bridges our conscious and unconscious worlds. Most of the time, it's automatic, controlled by the brainstem. But unlike heartbeat or digestion, we can consciously override breath anytime. You can hold it, slow it down, deepen it, change your entire state within seconds. That's powerful. Breath is tightly linked to the autonomic nervous system. Shallow, rapid breathing activates the sympathetic nervous system, your fight or flight mode. That was brilliant for escaping predators thousands of years ago. But today, it often shows up as chronic stress, overthinking, anxiety, or restlessness. On the other hand, deep diaphragmatic breathing activates the parasympathetic nervous system, your rest and digest mode. It signals safety, calm, and repair. So, your breath isn't just responding to stress, it can be the tool that reduces it. Cool, right? The brain command center of the breath. Breathing is regulated by the respiratory center in the brainstem, mainly medulla oblongata and the pons. These areas constantly monitor carbon dioxide levels in the blood and adjust the rate and depth of breathing to maintain balance, especially your blood's pH. When carbon dioxide rises even slightly, the brain signals you to breathe deeper or faster. And here's the fascinating part. Your emotions influence this entire system. Stress and anxiety can trigger overbreathing or hyperventilation, which disrupts balance even more. That's why mindfulness practices use breath control. It doesn't just feel relaxing, it's literally changing your nervous system and brain response in real time. The hidden cost of poor breathing. Most people perform this life giving process at only partial efficiency. We tend to breathe shallowly, and even more importantly, we don't exhale fully. And when carbon dioxide isn't released properly, your body never gets the full signal that it is safe to relax. Over time, this shows up in ways we don't always connect to breathing. In the beginning, it affects the mind. You might notice brain fog, racing thoughts, anxiety, or this feeling that your stress tolerance is just lower than it used to be. Like small things feel big very quickly. Then there's the physical side. When breathing is inefficient, your energy drops, digestion gets sluggish, and the body can drift into a more inflammatory state. You may feel more achy, more puffy, more reactive, like your system is constantly irritated instead of calm. It also messes with sleep and recovery because if your nervous system stays on alert, you don't sink into deep rest properly. And when deep rest is missing, repair is missing. So you wake up tired even after sleeping. When this becomes a long term pattern, it even affects how efficiently your cells produce energy over time. In simple words, breathing poorly doesn't change your mood for the day. It can influence how well you age. Nature's law, the art of releasing and receiving. When your exhalation is incomplete, the body stays subtly held, and when the body is holding, the mind holds too. That's why negativity sticks more easily. That's why stress feels harder to shake off. You are not too sensitive. Your nervous system is simply not completing the release. So, poor breathing doesn't change your chemistry, it trains your system to hold on to tension, to stress, and yes, to negative emotions. And you are stuck in that vicious cycle. One of the most profound lessons my teacher ever shared because it explains both physiology and emotional truth in one line. My teacher said, one can never inhale again if one does not exhale. In order to inhale, one must exhale. And it's so true in the lungs and it's so true in the life. If you don't fully exhale, the next inhale can never be complete. And if you don't release what you're carrying, stress, resentment, fear, there's no real space to receive calm, clarity, or healing. Exhalation isn't just expelling carbon dioxide, it's a physical act of letting go, and you can feel it instantly. A longer exhale softens the chest, relaxes the shoulders, loosens the belly, almost like the body saying, okay, I'm safe now. Nature mirrors this law perfectly. We exhale carbon dioxide, trees receive it, trees exhale oxygen, we receive it. The universe thrives on exchange, balance, and reciprocity. So when life feels heavy, remember, release to receive. And once we understand that, not just as a metaphor, but as a real biological principle, the next step becomes practical. We return to the breath and we retrain the rhythm. Correcting the equation, the power of breathing techniques. Now, the best part, this is reversible. Correcting your breathing isn't about doing something intense, it's about returning to what your body already knows. Think of it like correcting a small error in a calculation. You don't need a whole new life, you just need a better formula. So, let's do this together. And as you listen, you can try this gently, no force, no strain. The first one that we will practice today is diaphragmatic breathing. Place one hand on your chest and the other on the belly. Now, breathing slowly through your nose and see if you can let the belly rise first, not the chest, the belly. And as you exhale, let the belly soften back down. Inhale slowly through the nose. Exhale slowly with control again through the nose. Inhale through the nose while the belly expands. Exhale through the nose while belly relaxes. Stay with this breath. Let it be effortless. This diaphragmatic breathing isn't something new. It's the breath you were born with. We are simply helping the mind and body return to what they have quietly forgotten. This also tells the diaphragm you are in charge again, and it tells the nervous system we are safe. The next one that we will now practice is the box breathing, a simple one that's amazing for calming the mind instantly. In this practice, we will inhale for 4 seconds, hold the breath for 4 seconds, exhale for 4 seconds, and hold it for 4 seconds. Now let's do this together. Sit up straight, head and spine are in one line. Relax the shoulders. Now, inhale, hold, exhale, hold. Inhale, hold, exhale, hold. Inhale, hold, exhale, hold, relax. This brings steadiness. It's even used by Navy SEALs under pressure. So, yes, it can help us survive deadlines, traffic, and those random WhatsApp forwards at 6. The last one, but a very important practice from the science of yoga, a pranayam called Nari Shodhanam, also known as alternate nostril breathing. In this technique, you breathe in through one nostril while closing the other, then switch. Slow, smooth, gentle. Now let's do this for 3 rounds. Again, sit up straight, relax the shoulders. We will make a small gesture, a mudra with a right hand. Bring the index finger and the middle finger at the base of the right thumb. Now we will be using the right thumb and the right ring finger to close the nostrils one at a time. First, let's inhale through both nostrils. Exhale fully through both nostrils. Now close the right nostril. Inhale through left, close. Exhale through right slowly with control. Inhale right. Exhale left. Slowly. That's 1 round. Inhale left. Exhale right slowly with control. Inhale right. Exhale left. Slowly. Last round. Inhale left. Exhale right slowly with control. Inhale right. Exhale left. Slowly and relax. This practice brings balance like you are quieting the noise in the mind and returning to the center. So, there you have it, friends. We have decoded the lost math of life hidden in every inhale and exhale. And if there's one thing I want you to carry from today, it's this: breath is not just air, breath is therapy in motion because each slow breath is a reset code for the body. A fuller exhale softens the stress response. A calmer inhale steadies the mind. And little by little, your system remembers safety where the true healing begins. When the body feels safe, inflammation eases, sleep deepens, digestion improves, the heart settles, and even the mind starts to unclench because it no longer needs to fight. So, if you are in a season of healing, physically, emotionally, mentally, start here. Not with pressure, not with perfection, just with presence. One breath at a time, one exhale at a time. Release to receive. Thank you for tuning into this episode of Breath Math. If this resonated, share it with someone who needs a softer moment today. And don't forget to subscribe for more explorations into the art and science of mindful living. Remember, life is in the breath. Until next time, breathe well, stay balanced, and live fully.